Good morning, everyone. Good morning, David.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 4 of our challenge.
Good morning to everyone on Zoom. Good morning to everyone on Facebook. Good morning to our team that's here with us. We're here at day 4 of our challenge of Create Your Dream Event Planning Business Challenge. This was our standout, step up, be heard, be known, and
now get hired
series. So this has been a great 3 days so far, and here's day 4, and we're really excited for this final day of this round of this challenge. We had so many golden nuggets, great pieces of information that have been shared. Tori and the team with Roland has done a great job on putting together recap notes and putting them up there. I know that you guys have your notes as well. Remember to go back and read them and take out those gems for you and go back and think about how you can really implement them. Yesterday, Joanne Gregoli and Alex, they both shared a lot of clarity and understanding of how to elevate your business, how important it is to connect with your passion and show that. And, just as even Christina Davies talked about, of finding that bullseye, finding that niche, because I did see a lot of feedback in the Facebook chat as I went back through that yesterday evening of people saying, well, I'm just getting started. I still don't know how to find myself in the noise of the industry and how to stand out. You stand out by being you. You stand out by using the simple formulas. Do the work. Do the work, believe in yourself, and be great, and figure out how to be better each day. Do those 10% incremental changes. We've created a big toolbox, and we continue to create a big toolbox for everyone to use and to jump into. Just as our mentors and the mentees in the program with Mentor with David are doing, we have a large toolbox to build off of, to stand up on, and to pull your confidence from, so that you can shine, so that you can believe in yourself, to let it all out there and just be you. And I'm so happy to see so many of our program participants that are embracing their natural uniquenesses and their personalities and letting that come through and shine. Don't you think that's like the biggest
I
thing?
do. And it was really fascinating last night after we had completed the challenge, and then we did our VIP section with the mentees. And then I took a break for a short period of time. And then all of a sudden, so many Ask David questions came in. The most literally in less than an hour than we have had it in a period of months. So it makes me understand now that you're starting to really feel comfortable knowing that there's no question that's wrong. And gosh, so many questions came in that really had to have me think for a moment. I wanted to be able to answer them. So didn't get to all of them last night, but I got to almost 75% of them because they were so great. I mean, they were really legitimately great questions. So keep allowing yourself to bring those questions to the table. Go to Ask David if you're a mentorship mentee. But the simplicity of this is the formula is very simple. It's a very simple formula. You put the work in, it equates to progress. You put the work in, it equates to progress. You don't put the work in, there's no steps to take forward. And we're giving you all those opportunities, knowledge, intel, content, having had the opportunity through these 4 days of the challenge to listen to people that have legitimate careers in your specific categories of expertise that have allowed them to step forward. So that's really our overall goal. The entire team, PJ and Lee and everybody that's behind the scenes, as well as myself and Joey, we think very carefully about how we put things in order and who we deliver to the table for you. That sits at the head of the table and gives you all the knowledge for you to sit, eat it, enjoy it, and take it home and build your businesses. And that's what we're doing today. Again, unfortunately, it's the last day, but I think all of what we've done has been, so as I said previous, has been carefully, literally scripted out for the process of day 1, 2, 3, and now to day 4 to make sense. There's a reason for all of that. Today is about getting hired, but you need all of the other pieces prior to that to go out and make that happen. And that's what we're doing today.
I'm excited about what we're doing today. I'm excited as well. We're bringing on PJ. She's back with us live. She's been watching in the background. She was able to join us live to share some of her golden nuggets as well. And we have a great speaker for you that we'll introduce in just a little while. But we want to chat with Lee a little bit about yesterday, about these first 3 days of the challenge and what we're seeing, and say good morning to PJ as well.
Good morning, guys. I feel so blessed. This is Saturday. These are the people investing in their own self, in their own business. We are all together on a Saturday, bonus day, day 4 of the challenge. I'm super excited that we had this time with you guys. It is just beyond my wildest dreams. We got to learn so much. And even meeting your friends was such a nice treat. I love that you brought them on, that they said yes. They shared their genius. And we have more today. And PJ in the house. I mean, my goodness, she's been supporting so much behind the scenes, you guys. She has helped every bit of the way with this campaign, just like she did with the last ones. And we thought we'd bring her on today because we missed her energy. We're doing it for us and we're sharing her with you. And that's how I feel, Joey. What about you?
I feel the exact same way. I was excited that PJ was able to make it work with her schedule to be live with us today and to share in this, because today is an important day. Today is that day of let's wrap up our learnings and put that bow on it of you want to now get hired. Part of the purpose of going through these challenges, of going through this growth, is to find how to grow your business, how to bring in additional clients, how to use all of your tools and pull them all together in a beautiful, graceful way that will then get you the clients that are right for you. And that's
so true. And those PR things that we've learned, those tips, it's amazing how your friends, it just rolled off their tongue, just so much genius, so many gems. And you're right, Roland put it together in the whiteboards. He put it in the rooms. Download those. He got some golden nuggets in there for you guys to remember. Here are the ideas. Here are the steps. Just like David said, go back the last 3 days and look at your notes. Look at the notes from the group. Look at the comments and see what can you apply right now? What difference can you apply right now?
Well,
hey, PJ. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joey.
No problem. I'm seeing that people are buying the books. They bought Christina Davis's book. I saw that with Gail's picture in our Facebook group. I saw that people have bought Ann's book. They're doing the work. Do the work. That's what it's about.
And nothing in there is hard. It's actually just brilliant things. And it's ideas that you just do one at a time and build on each other and build on each other and create those moments that create momentum. So can we call PJ on and have her come say hi to everyone?
Yes.
You there?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Lee. And thank you, David and Joey. It's so fun to get to be here live with you today. I've been loving seeing everybody in the VIP room and on Facebook. I love seeing people post their memes. It's really cool. And it's great seeing people who we met in challenge number 1 and then challenge number 2 and challenge number 3. Everybody's continuing together. And then we have new wonderful people joining us. And so at this point, to me, it feels like a little bit like a family reunion. So it's really fun to get to be here live. And I love all of the learning and transformation that we've created in this process. And I want to thank Lee for bringing all of your hard work and dedication and energy to making this happen. And I want to thank David and Joey for, really like spearheading this whole mentorship and being, the ideal mentors and being willing to do this, because what an opportunity to get to be mentored by the best in the world and learn from the best in the world. This is going to have such a huge, wonderful ripple effect in everyone's lives as you move forward and implement these things in your business. And I want to also thank the team, of course, for putting all these details together and for jumping in and engaging and making this so special. This is co-creation at its best. Everybody contributing their unique energy and voice. And it's amazing what we've created together.
It really is. And I love your term. It's a family reunion. Every challenge is like that. Every one of our mentorship calls is like that. It's great because you see it, and I know that you comment on the group as well. You see it when it's Tuesday night before the mentorship call, everyone's getting excited because we're getting back together to share, to learn, and to grow together. And that's what it's about. It's a collaborative family experience. It's knowing that you're not alone. And that's part of the messaging of standing up. And even like what Callie shared, of be your best, but be a team player. Be your best, but don't do it alone. Do it with a team. Work with your team. Collaborate with your team. Pull other people up with you. That's part of being your best, is that you don't want to be up there all by yourself. That would be lonely.
Yeah.
Bring everyone with you. And that's the fun part.
PJ, it's so exciting because in this community, you've been here since the beginning. I mean, way before the beginning, when the ideas were just happening a year ago, you've been part of this with us, right? And watching it all come true has been incredible. And what also is incredible is every single challenge, the content that we created, people actually did the work and are continuing to do the work, and it shows. And we were looking at day one of our challenge this time, and everyone who showed up in the VIP room, their camera was on, the background looks beautiful, they're ready to work, they're smiling, they are in it and playing full out. And it didn't start that way. It wasn't that way in the beginning. There were learning moments. We talked about how to show up in Zoom. We talked about collaborating. We also saw people collaborating, and we shared their stories. And we did everything that Joey just said. They did the work, but they didn't have to do it alone. And people were growing and growing and growing. And now they're growing in front of our eyes even more. So that's why it's exciting to see you here, PJ, because you now get to see how dramatic the change is in just a few months. In just a few months. It's like we're all adulting together. We're like, okay, we're taking this pandemic and we're going to just turn it upside down and create something new and reinvent ourselves and have opportunities together. And it's just shining. And David, you're a huge reason why all of us have more confidence and more ideas and more things to implement. And you just must be kind of like the proud papa over there, just watching everyone blossom. And I can't imagine how you feel right now, but will you let us all know? Because we kind of want to peer into your head.
Yeah, I was surprised yesterday when we segued into the VIP section. I was somewhat stunned at the progress that these incredible mentees showcased in legitimately the VIP session, because I get more one-on-one time with them. And there are a couple people that have been there consistently who have stayed in the background and not asked questions. So I made it very specific at that moment and asked those that have never asked a question, I'm not getting off this VIP session until you ask a question. And they stood up and they had great questions, and it was really important for them to feel like their voice could be heard, and it was heard. And I was able to, guide them and give them my insight on what their question was and what the answers could be to sort of push them along in the right direction. And then after I just said earlier, when I first started today, we went down and we were finished, and then all of those questions came in to ask David. So this is what's really important. It might take you a little time to feel comfortable with the program, or it might feel, it takes a little bit of time to understand how it works. It's actually not that hard. I mean, it's really very simple. We give you all this content, and we give you these experts in the challenges, and then you're stuck with me and Joey for the portion of time that you're with us over the program. So we are here to literally not just answer questions, and I don't want to use the word mold your career, but we want to push your career forward and kind of take out all those bumps that you might hit, because I've been through that before, and try to avoid the potholes and move forward down the freeway. And I think that that's really what we're here to do. We're kind of like a vessel to guide you, a vessel to teach you, a vessel to elevate you. And that's really what we want to continue to do. And it was really great last night with the VIP session again. It spun out of it at the very back end to do an after party. And that after party was specifically because, which I think is great for everyone, by the way, it's telling every story, which there's no lack of stories of the disasters that I incurred over my career. And Some of them are funny, some of them are very dramatic, and most of them all give you the ability to understand it will happen to you, but it's how you handle them and sit back and laugh later and come out looking like the pro. It's always about being professional, but let's take the professional hat off for a moment in that after party that we plan and have fun and talk about the silliness of what our careers bring to us. I mean, because we're in a business, guys, all of us, to make everybody happy, and we have to leave making sure we do that. And sometimes it's not easy on ourselves.
I love that you took the topic of the day, which is be heard, and you practiced it and you spotlighted. And I had so many private messages from people last night that said they were excited that you asked for people to step forward that never asked a question before so they could be heard. And then everyone could witness them and also know in any circle we're in, we can practice that. We're now stretching new muscles, right? And the more we practice it, the better we get. And part of the reason the two of you are so comfortable connecting and sharing like this is you've done this so much. And now you're just, shining a light on us that just keep practicing. I mean, even going on The View and doing all those different things you've done in the past, the more you did it and the more you practiced it, the more you could show up as a pro and you knew what to expect and you knew how to shine and you knew how to connect with the audience more and more every time. That's what's going to happen for everyone here in the mentorship as well. Because when they mentor with David, they're learning those skills. And that's what I'm seeing in the group is everyone's learned it. PJ, you're just going to be so amazed at, the progress everyone's making. I'm watching Francesca and Melissa, of course, two of our ambassadors who are just like absolute shining stars. And we've had like an entire roller coaster of emotional rides with both of them. In the last 6 months, like it's astounding to see the transformation. And I know you've been keeping an eye on them and watching their posts and connecting too. Like, what are your thoughts about it, PJ?
Well, I feel like what we're doing here is everyone that is tuning in here, and especially the people who have chosen to join the David Tatera Mentorship, I feel like we are on the cutting edge. Like we are leading this industry. And so if you want to be in the top, like, I want to say 1% of 1%, but if you want to be an industry leader, then this is the place to be, because this really is the cutting edge. And I'm already seeing just in the last few months, the way people are showing up in terms of technology with Zoom and how they're interacting on Facebook and how they're engaging and how they're stepping into their leadership. And the transformation is amazing. And I feel like there are people, in the mentorship program who are already really stepping into leading the way for the entire industry, even now, even before their entire time in the mentorship is complete. So it's very exciting and inspiring to watch and witness and be a part of, really.
I love, and one of the parts I want to share before we introduce Dee here in a second was I went through a life coaching program. I went through my coaching program actually twice. The first time I was that person that's here in our Zoom room that does not want to raise their hand, that does not answer any question, and that says, do not look at me even. I sat there through the 100 hours. I still took away what I needed to take away from that. But then 2 or 3 years passed, and I went back to go do it again. And then I was that person that shared stories, that wanted to be called on, and that wanted to go deeper into it. So it all happens at the right time for you. The beautiful part about our program with the mentorship and with these challenges is that we record every session. They're in the resources. Go back and listen to them and you take something new out. And then when you do that, then you go on to that Ask David and you say, David, I didn't ask a question during this session, but now I'm going to be brave and I'm just going to send you an email about this. And next time I'm going to ask you in person, but you can get that question answered. Coaching and that support of it is just such a great thing. That's how you can make progress. It's one of the ways to help push you forward. It's one of the ways to help hold you accountable to that progress. David met Dee, our speaker for today, a year and a half ago in Nigeria. And so I'd love for you to introduce the connection.
Dee, I'm going to let you pronounce your name so elegantly and beautifully and amazingly, because I don't want to do it wrong for you. But Dee, before we introduce and have you come out, I had the wonderful experience in Nigeria, Africa. We were 2 keynote speakers on stage at separate times. And I had met her first in a media session for local news outlets for Africa. And I was immediately gravitated towards her for a variety of reasons. One, her voice is just amazing to listen to, and her content and her knowledge and her grace and her calmness and her powerfulness is pretty remarkable. So I'd like to introduce Dee. Dee is, besides being remarkable, she is a personal impact professional and influence expert humanist, leadership and power expert. Dee is certified high performance coach, global speaker, author, and a corporate consultant. And as I said, I had the time to share a stage with her in Nigeria, but I want to remind us all as we finish off day 4. We started out with stand up, we moved to stand out, we progressed to be heard, we completed yesterday by being known, and today we're going to close with Dee making sure you understand how to get hired. Please welcome an incredible speaker, Dee.
I hope you can hear me. Hello. I need you to give me waves. Please give me waves. You can give me a wave. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Can you imagine how the world is? You are starting the day there. We are ending the day here. I'm in Ghana, West Africa, and it's already night here. So we are on 2 different continents, but we are one people. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I just want to first say thank you to David and to Joey. I can't wait to see you, meet you in person. I've heard so much about you. The team, I'm so excited to see the faces behind the beautiful names. And I want to say for everyone out there, please honor David for me. It was a delight to meet him. I mean, as soon as we met, we just fell in. I mean, I just hugged him and we just got and we started talking and it just gravitated from there. I remember we shared a ride to the restaurant and that was it. Our conversations were like, I was so amazed. David is an amazing person. I'm sure you all know that. So I can't wait to serve you today. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm loving every single thing you've done. I'm loving what I'm reading in the chats. I'm loving the messages, collaboration, being the best version of yourself. I'm loving progress. I'm loving all the stuff that PJ said. I can't wait to just push it to the final end to get hired. So I'm really, really excited to be here. And like David said, if you see my name on the screen, you won't dare say it, but it's simply G-B-O-D, which is like G-E-E. So our tonation, D-Z, actually sounds like a G. So it's G-B-O-D. So it's like G-B-O-D. So because of that, everyone uses the D, which is the last part of it, to sort of give me my other name. And my last name is also a D. So some people call me D, some people call me DD. So whichever one works for you, people call me DKD as well. I would love for you to choose. And I'm so excited. Thank you for your warm welcome. I can see them in the chats. And please chat with me. Tell me how your week has been. 4 days. It looks like you guys have had an amazing, amazing 4 days. And this is our 4th day, and we are going to make it happen. David and Joey, I was listening to you and share with me just in 1 minute what you think that everyone is looking forward to the most today. Can you share with me, David or Joey? Can you just share with me? Just share with me. What do you think someone is looking for today?
Everyone that's joining us right now, first of all, your enthusiasm is beautiful, but what's important right now is to sign the deal. They need to get the client close.
Yes.
Because of their energy, expertise.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kimiata. Thank you, Gail. I'm seeing people saying, oh, thank you, Lahoma, for DD. Thank you. I'm seeing the screen and I'm so excited. Drop in the chat anything you want to hear by the end of this and I'll do my best. So this is my 22nd year as an entrepreneur. I started business in 1998 in my father's living room. I know I look young, so it's fine. But I started in my father's living room, not even imagining what I could do before I started. I just started to say, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I just started walking the steps. At the time, I was an investment banker who was sort of just burnt out. I was spending a lot of time in financial services. I'd done retail banking, investment banking, and I was jumping from place to place. And I thought, how can I solve me? How can I take care of me? And as I began to do that, I recognized that there were things that had happened many years ago in my own space, in my own family, which had to do with me burning out. So I decided to set up a space, a platform, which was going to be a place where people would come and feel good. So my first time I set up business, I set up the first ever day spa in Ghana. So I went straight into the wellness industry. That was in 1998, but very small. At that time, it was not even existent as a name. I mean, in Africa, spa was alien, spa was foreign. Even to have a beauty salon was alien. So I was doing what you call dare to be. And I got into unknown territory. Why am I saying this? We feel we are in an unknown territory because of all the things that have happened in the past year. But I can tell you that unknown territories are exciting territories. Unknown territories are the biggest opportunities you could have. When I decided to start my business, I thought, oh my God, what am I thinking? Many times I felt like stopping, but there was every single time I said to myself, progress. So when I heard David say progress, I loved it because progress and not perfection. You will never, ever, ever be perfect in what you do. You may have perfect moments, but that's what you make perfect. And every step you move ahead is progress. So I love progress over perfection. And that is what I want to set the tone with today. So as I transitioned as an entrepreneur, I moved through different businesses, expanded my business. And I wanted to share this because when I first set up my business, it was nouveau, not only in Ghana, but in Africa. Nobody had ever done this. Nobody had ever built a brand that was so known. So actually setting up the well-known brand where even people around the globe would visit Ghana and come to my spa. Actually, nobody thought at the time that someone local would go as crazy as doing what I did. So I want to tell you here today that if you feel like you're going through crazy times, let it all, because it's all part of who you are. So I want to use this opportunity to say how I moved into coaching. So over the years, whilst I was in the spa, I would have people come to me. And before they would go into the room to have their service, they would have a short consultation with me. People kept saying, D, can I talk to you for a second? D, can I talk to you for a second? And when they come into my space, we sit and they're like, we love your energy. We love who you are. Can we share with you? And I heard David talking about questions. So people would ask me questions, people would share with me, and people would tell me what other issues they were having outside of being in the wellness, coming for a massage or coming for hydrotherapy. They would start talking to me about their businesses, their lives, what was going on, and if I could shed any light. And I was like, wow, I think I'm doing great at this. That is when I found out the whole concept of coaching. And that was 12 years ago. So then I decided to study coaching and then take it. And one coaching that caught my attention was what I identified as high performance, being a high performance coach, because I realized that it doesn't matter what space you're in. High performers are those who are best at what they do. They are already best at what they do, just like you, experts, creatives, skilled. But a lot of times they limit themselves because they think they've hit the peak. They can't take it anymore. But I want to share with you today lessons that I learned and tactics that you can use to get hired, to know that just when you think you are at the end of that comfort zone, that is actually the beginning of how far you can go. So I realized that high performance is just going one step further. And like Joey said, a step at a time, one small transition, one small change, one small pivot, and that will get you over the hurdle. So today I want to share, what did I do? What did Dee do differently? What are the things that made me the brand that I have become? How I would get called to Nigeria, I would get called to North America to speak on all different topics. What did I do? How did I get hired? How do I get hired, even in these times? And I want to give those tips to you. So I'm going to click over and just show you a little thing on a screen. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. Can I do that, David, if it's okay with you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I would, I'm not an expert, but I'll try. So I sent something with four key tips on the 4 hours.
Okay, Rial, do you have that for us? You can help her and set up.
Can I share this briefly? Is that okay? Can you see that?
Yeah, and I just want to say I love you sharing your story with all of us. We get to see into your heart just how important it was for you to make such an incredible space and an incredible experience for the people that you care about and for your customers and for your community. And you're really shining a light on us that you could do this in any industry, and you took it and did it with the thing that you love. So thank you for sharing this. I love it.
Thank you so much. I will just, I will send this to you actually later. So let me get back on screen. Okay, so I'm back on. Let me get back because I can give you everything. I want you to see my face. I want you to see me as I share this with you. So you have a worksheet, but I was going to give you something as well. So what I wanted to share with you what were the tips that helped me. I call them the 4 hours to getting hired. Your 4 hours to getting hired. The first hour is your relationships, and I would give you a little bit of insight to what I learned the hard way. The second hour is your research, and it's not what you think. Not your book research, but your heart research. The third hour is your recognition, and the fourth hour is your relevance. And let me talk about relationships. What have I learned in business as an entrepreneur to get through these times was the fact that there were 2 key relationships that I had to define. The first one was what I call you, your relationship with you. The second one is what I call yours, your relationship with everybody else that you serve. It can be an internal client, it can be an external client. And that relationship is what changed the game for me in business. A lot of times when we talk about business, we talk about strategy. But in these unprecedented times, the strategy, one strategy that you need to keep in mind is the relationship. When I talk about the relationship of you, I'm talking about what I call your influence and your message. I learned the hard way, and David talked about disaster in offering a service and and laughing at yourself later. I learned the hard way that to influence someone, there are 4 key things you need to know. The first is what I call connectivity. That happens within 30 seconds. The second is what I call likability. That happens within another 10 few seconds. The third one I called respectability. And the fourth one is what I call credibility. Connectivity is whenever you get to that client, and I know you are in the event business, so I know when you tell people, let my work speak for itself. In these unprecedented times, I want you to say, let my voice speak for me and let my work add to the voice. And I would explain that in business language. And I would give you exactly where I'm coming from. So when it comes to relationships today, those 4 things that make people influenced by you is not driven by only what they see, but is driven by how they see you. So everything has to do with your approach. And I'll tell you critical stories. I had recently 2 major corporate clients that I had been dealing with differently in a different space. I'd been doing coaching for, I had about 16 or 17 people in the company that I had been working with. And unprecedented times showed up because I was doing a lot of physical work, and I was giving them experiences, and they were happy and they were excited and everything seemed to be going well. And then this transition showed up. And when it showed up, initially, I said to myself, where am I going to start from? What am I going to say? My work had spoken for me all this time. Everything that I did was the substance I gave to them, what I submitted, what I showed them. That was my work. But then one morning, I picked up the phone and then I called the key executive in the company. And I said, even though I know this has happened and all this stuff is going to change the face of how we do business, I want to ask you personally how I can help you. So I changed the optics from them being a customer to me, to them being someone that I could offer my help to for nothing. Right at that very minute, he told me, he said, throughout all this, nobody has asked me a question. Everybody's asking me how you're going to do this, what we are going to change, but nobody has asked me how they can help. He gave me a small personal assignment to do for him. But that was the beginning to a new dimension of the relationships. In the event industry, because you are a creative, you are used to the tactic of delivering your work, which is absolutely fine. But it's now time to deliver yourself as well. Your work speaks, but now you have to follow with your voice. So deliver you to others. Let others have these 4 experiences. Connectivity, they have to have that with you. They have to feel that they can connect. They have to feel likability. They have to feel respectability. We respect each other at that level. And most importantly, credibility. Your credibility has always been in your work. Your credibility shows. I know what magnificent things you can do. But the very moment you can stop for a moment and say to yourself, what can I deliver to support the work that I do by giving myself to this situation? Remember, people lead with emotions and follow with logic. And that is why your work gets people so excited because they are visual. They see and they get, oh my God, this space has been transformed. Can you imagine they see you as well? They hear your voice as well, following and delivering yourself. So that is a tactic. And I want you to change the lens a little bit as we go into this new level. When you change the lens that you see through, you see in a 4-dimensional view. What else can I do for this person? What do I think they need? I'm sensing this. So you move from just emotions and logic to what we call the 4-dimensional view, a higher level, a further level of what you can give. You are not only giving your service, but now you are giving you. What I changed this year was when I started giving me, it has changed the dynamic of a lot of relationships. Relationships I thought I could stay back and be very, very objective and just do tactics, get the work done like we are doing. But I added me to the equation and it has changed the game. I want to delve into a little story to make this real to you. I realized that when we hear about change, one of the key things we presume is that change means changing me. But actually, change means adapting me to the change that has happened. So everything you're doing is an adaptation of yourself to the situation. I heard David say, be the best version of you. And that is what I agree with. So don't be forced to change what is going on inside you, like your heart, your light, the things and the tools you have, which are the soft skills. Don't change those things. Adapt to what's going on around you, but don't change the core skills, soft skills that you have. As you go with time, you will adapt, you will be flexible, it will be fluid. In business, when I was starting my business, and I think I've shared this story maybe for David to hear, but during the seasons and the times, the reason why I can speak to this is the fact that I was trying to have a child. That's what a lot of people did not know. I went through 7 miscarriages to have that child while still working every single day. And when I did that, what I did for higher performance during those seasons are what I'm doing today, and they are still relevant. I reached out and asked to help. In my difficult time, when I did that, it started bringing more clients to my table because people saw that you can give this person business. You can deliver to her, to him, to their team because they are trustworthy. So don't just deliver your service, deliver you. That's the first thing. So your influence. And then the second one is to your team. Deliver yours. Everyone around has been talking about collaboration. Everyone around has been talking about get your team, get everybody, galvanize, make everybody excited. But this is the time where you need to go down to your team and identify skills that are not necessarily the hard skills in your team. I want you to be able to identify who in your teams, be it your outsourced teams, your internal teams, has a soft skill that you can use, be it a communication skill, be it a connectivity skill, be it an influence skill. You need to now start drilling down and doing deep dives past their technical skills. You need to reach out that when you are spending assessment or what I call one-to-one time with your team, that was my second ace. I wasn't only delivering me, but my team was also delivering them. That made us different in the space. So the people I work with, I identified, okay, PJ has a powerful ability to communicate in a way where people will buy her. This is PJ's skill. I'm going to take PJ's skill and I'm going to add on what Lee is doing. And I'm going to bring Lee into the picture. And Lee is going to do this. And we're going to craft this for a client. So when we are moving together, all those soft skills have also come to the fore. Relationships are going to be a strong part. And like I said, there's a different way to do it now. Your tactic is find the way to deliver you, and then find a way to deliver your team. You and yours would be your influence and your message. Once you have those two, clients will begin to gravitate towards you. You have reached a point where now we cannot just sit and say, if I build it, they will come. Right now is, if I step out, they will come. If I deliver me, they will come. If I deliver my team, they will come. The strategy for service businesses now, whether you are online, whether you are getting physical to the location, even if it's one person you are working with, know that skill and leverage that skill. Know that skill in you. I don't want to focus on the weaknesses because we know that we always use our staff to help our weaknesses. But what I'm talking about is a power team. A power team is those who know themselves so well that they know their soft and their hard skills and what they can use to make progress and get hired. That is what lands the deal. So please, when I'm talking about relationships, it's not what we've done the same way. It's what we are going to do differently. Every single person that you meet today, every single person on this screen is a high performer. And I want you to remember that. I want you to place in the chat and say, I am a high performer. I want you to place it there. I've got what it takes. I'm a high performer. I want you to say to yourself, I've got what it takes. I'm a high performer. Write it down in the chat. You need to write it in caps. Say, I am a high performer. I've got what it takes. Every single thing, say it to yourself. I am a high performer. I've got what it takes. I am a high performer. I've got what it takes. You have to say this because that mindset of business requires you to remind yourself of this affirmation every single day. I have been doing business for 22 years. I wake up every morning reminding myself, I am a high performer. I've got what it takes. It doesn't matter what the day looks like. It doesn't matter how things turn out. Every single morning, I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. I am a high, and just say it every day, these two lines, say it. You go out there, things don't go too well, come back, remember, a high performer moves in progressive steps. They don't have to be perfect. They have to be a high performer. That's all they have to be. They have to just move and level up just one more. Remember, scream it. I love you, Melissa. Scream, I am a high performer and I have what it takes. I love it. Woohoo! I am a high performer. I'm loving you guys. Mwah, mwah. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love your community, David. They are amazing. Level up with me and say, I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. Repeat it after me. Let's say it together. I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. I am a high performer and I've got what it takes.
Got what it takes.
Fantastic. I can feel the energy out there because that's who you are. Know it, believe it, affirm it, use it. The next time you're going to have your next client meeting, whilst you're waiting for your client to show up, what are you going to say? I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. The next time you are going to do a set design for your client, the next time you're going on site, the next time you're going to do a recce, as you get there, what are you going to say? I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. Every single day, you are a high performer. Nothing can change that. That is who you are. All you have to do is remind yourself of what you already are. It's time to level up. Every single thing that you do is time to level up. I always say this, that every time we talk about the work you're willing to do, it is the things you're willing to say to back the work you're willing to do. So if you say I'm a high performer, you're going to deliver a high performing service. If you say I'm a high performer, you're going to deliver a high performing conversation. If you say a high performer, you are going to deliver a high performing team. If you say I'm a high performer, do this with your team. In the mornings when you're going out, sit together with your team. If it's just two of you, remind yourselves and say this to yourself. Let your team member remind themselves of this. I am a high performer and I've got what it takes. Level up to this. You know, all high performers level up to be the best they can do, no matter what. So I want you to do that as a business person. Remember that. That is for me what I call research. Research into your heart and remind yourself of who you already are. And I'm telling you, that person is a high performer. You are the best at your skill. You are the best in your market. You are the best in your industry. You are the best at being yourself, and you deliver the best service. Come on, you are in the David Tatera community. You only have to be the best because that is who you are. You are a high performer. So I want to remind you that research into yourself and know that you are a high performer. I love that. Level up those on your team. Oh, Sherry, I love that. I can't wait. Your team, I'm seeing, I can't wait for you guys, pumped and ready to level up. You are high performers. So remember these, build your relationships, remind yourself of who you are. That's a high performer, and you can change the game. Say that to your heart and believe it. I want you to also remember that you are relevant. Your relevance is going to be in this time, in your commonality. When you meet clients, make sure that not only do you get to just know what they love in the business, the services they love, but when you meet clients, make sure this time around, you find out who they are. I work with a lot of the event industry, and I realize that they always don't like to be too vulnerable, ask too many questions outside of, I know it's part of your business in terms of not being, just getting to know what the client needs and giving them that. This time I want you to push a little bit as a high performer and get to know who the client is, not just what they need. Because getting to know who the client is enables you to have that commonality. So the highest performers generate energy to deal with who the client is. Very important. Let me give you a thorough example of something that actually happened. I shared this yesterday with a team member, and it was about an event. And at that event, she was having a wedding, and she had, I think, 4 people that she scoped out. And she found all the 4 incredibly great, but she found 2 people that she thought she had. One person who had what she really, really wanted, and another person who had the other half of what she really, really wanted. But she needed to only choose one. She needed to make a final decision. So the decision didn't come down to the technical service. It came down to the person. But all the person did, all the event planner did, was to ask a question. I think it was about an area in which she grew up. I mean, I think they found out, let's say I grew up in Culver City, California. So he says, oh, did you grow up in Culver City? She says, oh, yes. She says, me too. And that was all it took, David, for her to choose someone because she had a commonality. Sometimes you don't need to go all the extreme, but get to know who people are. High performers just do things a little bit differently. They do things a little bit progressively. They do things a little bit in a way where they are going, no matter how much they have gone through, they keep going. And that has been my message. David knows this. I have a very loving quote that I use. It's by Leonard Cohen. I don't know if you know him, but he says this: ring the bells that ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. So you can think you're perfect, but remember that even in the best designs, there may be a crack in it, but maybe that may be the light that you need to show your event up. As high performers, you can level up in your relationships. You can level up by giving yourself strong affirmations and walking out with those affirmations, working with those affirmations. You can show your relevance by getting to know people as they are. And you can level up to the highest level by making progress every day. People buy you before they buy anything else that you have. They first buy you. In your industry, I know your services are what make you. People hide behind that little service and say, let me create a wonder, and people will come after. This time, I want you to deliver you. I want you to deliver your team. Get to know people. Use your voice to tell your story. Bring up your team. Work your team. And these little changes, little business tactics. The next dimension is the relationship dimension. In unprecedented times, people need you. In unprecedented times, people need what you have. You. I want you to remember that you are the high performer. They need you. And your service will be the substance that follows. Give them you. And that will transform your business. To get hired, give them you. To get hired, give them yours. To get hired, remember who you are as a high performer. To get hired, be relevant in your space. Be relevant. Find the commonalities. Find the soft skills. Level up. And know that you are a high performer. And you can handle it. What I want to do is, I would love for you to, if there's anything, I can tell you so many things, but I want some of this to sit in David and Joy. I want them to really marinate this. I want them to really live it. I want them to walk out remembering these things. I want this to stay inside PJ, Lee. I want them to really take it all in, because getting hired is standing up, is standing out, but to get hired, you need you. And that's what people are going to buy. Give them you, give them yours. And you're on your way to great things. So I am ready. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I don't even know what to say anymore. You guys are super. I'm watching the chats blowing up, and I can't. Okay, I like Lahoma. So when I talked about recognition, I said that people identify their skills, recognize the skills of who your people are, the soft skills that they have, and then position those skills to be recognized, because everybody looks more at your hard skills. But I want you to start identifying each of the soft skills, and that is what makes impact. That is what creates the memory. Oh, thank you, Shanae. And that is recognition. So you research. So Lahoma, I hope I answered your question. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you, Candace. Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you. Soft skills are key. Yes, Melissa, soft skills are key to winning business. I have built this brand successfully for 22 years because of soft skills. That is what. Love you too. Love you, love you, love you back. Love you. I'm a whole new person with a whole new attitude. Thank you, David. Your community is amazing. I'm totally in love with them. I can't wait to see people in person. So I would love to hear, talk to me if you have specific questions, or if you want me to say additional things, please. Thank you, Kimiata. Thank you. I hope you took the nuggets, and unless you want me to recap. David, you are saying something.
Yeah, Dee, I listen, I've seen you speak before. We have spent time together personally and traveling in cars throughout our space and time. I expected you to be remarkable. This is why I brought you in to close the challenge. My breath is taken away by your enthusiasm, your passion. If we all can have 10% of what you delivered today, we are already leveling up to provide the opportunity to get higher. Your words, your strength, your clarity, your ability to deliver is exactly what all of us need to do. We put ourselves forward and present, and we are selling ourselves, and our talents come with it. And I am beyond, it takes a lot for me to be 1,000% engaged into one person sharing their content and knowledge. And I'm sure everyone on this challenge right now feels the same. I cannot wait to see you on the stage live at the experience in Orlando, because now I'm even more excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for giving exactly what you and I talked about, how we were going to get here today.
Yes, I remember.
You delivered exactly as I knew you would, and more. So,
oh, thank you, David. Thank you. You have an amazing community, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited that I've been able to serve you. It's always a privilege, and I know it's going to be amazing in March. And you know, I just I'm so excited, and I have to remind everyone to say the mantra for me. I want you to repeat the mantra before we leave.
Yes.
What is your mantra? I am a high performer.
I am a high performer.
So I'm waiting for you. Assignment. You have to tell me. Yes.
And
I am a high performer, and I've got what it takes.
I am a high performer, and I
got what it takes.
I am a high performer.
I am a high performer.
Yes.
I am a high performer, and I got what it takes. I got what it takes. I'm a high performer, and I got what it takes.
I'm a high performer, and I got what it takes.
We are all high performers, and we all have what it takes.
I am a high performer.
Every single one. I want you to know that. Every single one. I am ready.
I'm a high performer.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, David. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, PJ. Thank you, all of you, for sharing yourselves. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Showing up is a mark of a high performer. All of you have shown up for 4 days. That's a mark of a high performer, showing up. And now I know you're going to go out there and do the work, because you know you've got what it takes. you're going to go out there and do it. You're going to go out there and get hired. You're going to go out there and do it.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much. I adore you. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. Love you all. Love you. Bye.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.
We love you.
Love you.
Oh my goodness, that was so mind-blowing.
It's that conceptly of the I am worthy, I believe in myself, I have the power, and then it is using that voice, just how Dee was speaking to us. Her voice, her passion came through, her power came through, but her grace came through as well. That was 100% graceful. There was not one.
And strong.
It was strong. It was strong, but it's that dance. There's not that hint of the arrogance that will turn people off. You use that strong voice. You use it for power. You use it for good. You use it to connect because you're interested.
She did every single thing that you've been teaching through every challenge. She did all of it. She stepped up. She was seen. She was heard. She shared herself. Her message was bring yourself, share yourself. And that's what she did. She modeled for us exactly how to do it. And look, all of us connected so deeply because she was authentic. She just told her story. She had a couple little bullet points, but she didn't have notes. She didn't have a script. She just showed up and shared herself, exactly what she showed us. And Joey, I love that we've talked about these I am statements so much. And in our Mentor with Lee and Joey, that's how we hit home the other day, was practicing that. And you opened up the call with, I am brave. I am worthy. Those were some of the things that came out that all of us universally wanted to adopt. And here you are sharing it with the audience. And then she shows up standing in her I am statements, and it's so strong. And she says she does it every day, and we could feel it. It's in her. It's in her fibers. It's not just something that rolls off her tongue. It is her. And you guys get to see firsthand how powerful that statement is when you make it for yourself. Because guess what? She's showing up like a high performer because she hard built herself to be that. She started with her mindset. She used the words, I had to start with my mindset. She declared it for all of you. And this is what we've been showing all along. And the genius of Joey and David together is they pulled the curtain back all the way to mindset first. And she hit it out of the park with showing us mindset every day.
And this is how you just wrap the bow up on everything. I mean, Dee just did it. She wrapped it. She showed you. She stood up. She was literally
standing up.
And she was using her voice to inspire, encourage. And I mean, we have people yelling on Facebook. So just as they were yelling their mantras here on Zoom, they're yelling on Facebook. I'm looking at the chat in Zoom, the chat on Facebook, people are in caps lock. You're just going. It's so excited. Ricardo's doing backflips of how excited he is.
Because she did everything you've been teaching. She literally absolutely came on and personified every single thing you said. Mindset, be clearer. What's your message? What do you want to do? How do you practice? How do you deliver it? How do you connect? How do you follow up? Every single thing you've been teaching, she demonstrated. And we didn't have to tell her side by side what to do. She does it naturally because that's the pathway.
Practice. You said practice, Lee, and that's it. That you keep doing the work. You keep looking for progress. That's what David opened up with this morning. You do the work, you see progress. You do the work, you see progress. If you're unsure of something, you practice. You practice again. You stand in front of the mirror. You talk to yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself in front of the mirror and get comfortable looking at yourself and looking at yourself in the eyes when you speak. The challenge that we're going to have for the mentorship group coming up, I think next month, is 45-second videos. Get clear quickly, because we can all ramble. We can ramble and ramble and ramble. But can you get clear and passionate and concise with your message in 45 seconds?
Deliver your information in a short period of time and close it.
Everyone put in the chat one word of what you got from today. Are you inspired? Are you taking action? What is it? What is it that you're thinking right now? We want to see, David and Joey want to see what's on your mind right now. Here we have empowered and clarity. And Joey, is it okay if we bring PJ on? Because I know her mind is blown and I just can't wait to see what she's thinking. PJ, are you there? Can you come on as confirmation and on fire, motivation, confidence, all of these beautiful sentiments from the community are coming through. And I just want to know, like, how are you feeling? You've been here from day one when this was an idea, and like, doesn't it just feel incredible right now?
I'm feeling fired up. And I think my very favorite part, okay, just to pull back the curtain, my very favorite part was how impressed Dee was by how we showed up, because that's how this community and these amazing event planning professionals have been learning through the challenges and learning by what you and David and Joey have been modeling about. Like, this is how you show up with all of who you are. This is how you show up with energy. This is how you transmit your energy to your potential clients and to your community. And that's what makes you really stand out, right? And I think that just like she really stood out to us, I think we stood out to her. And that was very gratifying, because it shows like how much this community has up leveled just in the last few months.
I would agree. Totally agree.
I mean, think about it, PJ and Lee, when we first had our conversations in April about this program and pulling it together. And we did it. There's so much work that went into this program to pull it together, but we did the work and we continue to refine it along the way. We continue to refine the challenges along the way to make them better, to up-level them. You know, this time of David reaching into his Rolodex and bringing us speakers. We continue to learn and to up-level and do the work to make it so we have these comments that we have here that are just fully charged and amazing, because it's everyone feeling that you this, and that's our goal. We wanted you to feel this and to own it and to believe it, that I am worthy. You are worthy. You can do it. Be brave. I am brave. We wanted you to own these, to stand up with them, and to go out and to share with passion these messages, share with passion your gifts, your skills, and get connected and get hired and create more exciting memories for your clients that you will have to just smile and go. And that's what this mentorship program is about, right? It's about a community that together can uplift each other.
Absolutely. And is uplifting each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see it. And I see the connections forming, and it's really exciting and inspiring and fun to be a part of, and gratified to see like all this work that we've put in, the transformation that it's creating in people's lives. It's a lot of fun. And I know that that's a big part of why you guys are willing to do this.
Thank
you.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy.
Not only willing to do this and guide the way and actually bring an actual example to us today. I mean, we didn't have to prep her. She just showed up as a professional being in the world and literally did step by step everything we've been teaching. And, you know, one of those other people that does that absolutely hard work and flawlessly is Melissa Banks. And Melissa is one of our people that have been from the very beginning, an event planner that showed up with an open mind and willing to do the work. And what happened in the beginning is Melissa didn't even have any new clients on the books, but she did the work. She came in, she learned, she did more work. She got vulnerable, she got brave, she asked for help. And now she's had many clients in her biggest month ever. And David and Joey, I'd love you to talk to Melissa a little bit about her experience, because she's such a joy. She's an ambassador in our community. We've watched her absolutely blossom. And she was already a leader before we met her, but she leveled up. She did every single thing that we just witnessed with our presenter. Yeah. And I just love you to share Melissa with everyone. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely. Melissa, we are, to say we're proud of you is an understatement, but I would be really interested to have you share sort of from day one to where you are today. What is the difference that you feel and see in yourself through everything you've experienced through the mentorship program?
Oh, wow. David, do you remember the first challenge when I got to actually speak to you and meet Joy for the first time? I was feeling lost. I was feeling confused. I had people that I was mentoring, but I was at that state of, I don't know what to do. So when I spoke to you that day, everything began to change in my mindset. So as each challenge went through, I became stronger inside. So I was able to believe in myself. believe that the years of that I've been in this business were not wasted, that I have been building myself and being prepared for what's to come. It wasn't all over. It was the beginning. So I decided that I was going to go full out and give it my all and continue to inspire people that listen to me, because my voice in my community, people do listen to me, and they did not need to hear or see me not be genuine. So I couldn't motivate them and inspire them if I was feeling lost and didn't know where to go. Now I feel empowered, even more so today. Oh my gosh. But I feel empowered, and I feel that I do have a lot to offer, that I can offer things to my clients. I just had to get clear. And once I began to get clear and move in the direction that I was supposed to, and I believe that my steps are ordered and things that are happening are not a surprise, I had to be open-minded and willing to learn and hear every word you said, every word Joey said, every word Lee said, and all the people in this community. So they continue to build me up. And then this morning, I've really been sick this week and seeing a doctor, but this morning I said, I just don't feel good. I just cannot get on. And I'm so thankful that I did. That's why I posted in the chat that self-care is my challenge. So I took all this stuff on because I was so fired up. It's really your fault. Actually, I was so fired up. I took so much stuff on that I was letting my self-care go. But I'm telling you, the person that spoke to you on that first day and the person you see in front of you has changed so much, and so clear and so grateful for this opportunity.
We're proud of you,
Thank
Melissa. We're very, very, very proud of you. You've put the work in. You've done this for yourself. We've given you the content, but you've taken it in and you've allowed it to happen.
You've created it. We put out the toolbox, and you take the tools and you do that hard work. You do the lifting. And remember, continue the self-care. That is the challenge sometimes, especially when we get crazy and busy.
Yeah, that's the difference. I couldn't imagine how you were going to wrap this up, though. This was beyond. My mind is blown. I can't even breathe right now, Harley.
Thank you.
Thank you. We adore you.
And I'm so inspired by Melissa Banks and her story. And I wrote a little note to Francesca, which is another person just like Melissa, who started in one space and has absolutely transformed in front of our eyes while she has kids at home, while she has a business at home. And I'm just wondering, can Francesca just give a couple seconds about how her feelings are being part of the mentorship program? And then also David and Joey, how you feel watching her literally blossom. Look at her background and her beauty, right? Just blossoming right before our eyes. It is almost like a graduation in a lot of ways for a lot of us.
Francesca, if I might just sort of not step on you, but sort of give a representation of what I have seen in you, because I just had this conversation last night after we were all done with the challenge in VIP. Your progression and transformation is so staggering on a myriad of levels. I mean, first of all, visually, how you represent yourself, the confidence, the ability to communicate differently. If I can go back and remember exactly where you started, and I can remember exactly where you started, you're a true professional now. You are not someone who's dabbling in an industry looking forward to getting busy. You physically have transformed your ability to have educated yourself, to have given you this confidence that you need, the strength that you need, the tools that we've given you. And it is really remarkable. And I just want you to know it's very, very rare that people have a chance to hear someone say, I am proud of you, other than your parents, but I am proud of you. We are all proud of you here on this group. And you have done everything and more to have gotten to the place that you're at. And where you are now is just the beginning. You've got so much more to do and grow, but congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of this journey, it kind of fell into my lap. I found it on Facebook, and I definitely, like Melissa, I felt lost. I didn't really know where to go with the industry the way that it was. And I felt like being a mom to 2 young kids was going to be, the definition of who I am. And I felt a little sad at first because I knew that my passion is to be creative, but I didn't know where to put it all together. So being in this program from what you said, the beginning, I was in my pajamas. I had like a hot mess bun. I was like throwing lipstick on real quick. So yeah, no, it's just amazing. I take every single thing that everybody in this community says. I've learned from obviously both of you, from Lee, from even everyone in this group. Everyone just contributes in so many different ways, and it's amazing to connect and just inspire each other. So I definitely, am just so appreciative. And I have honestly had really good business too. I mean, it started from when I joined the mentorship. It was like everything just started falling into place. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and we're proud of you. Thank you for doing the work and for showing up.
She did the work, and she showed up. She was seen. She was heard. She practiced. She practiced more. She has little groups that she even has like little happy hour parties with so that they could practice even more. The after dark parties, we're paying attention, we know. And what we love is they can't get enough of each other. They're building this community. The thing is like anything else, the founders group and the people who get started kind of get a head start. And we're seeing these guys have a head start, but we don't want to leave anyone behind. We want to make sure people are included, just like Francesca. Just like Melissa, we want to give people the opportunity to shine. And right now, David, you've been so generous with opening this opportunity for all of us and for letting people like Francesca to come in, be seen, be heard, and be even more successful than her wildest dreams, to be more supported than she ever felt before, to be more seen. We see her, we see all the work she does. She actually got up in front of her Christmas decorations the other day, and we all felt the Christmas flavor just because she brought it in the room. And we discovered you could still feel it through Zoom. It doesn't have to be in the room. It's the experience you bring with you. It's the energy, just like the speaker today. She stood up, she brought her energy, she brought her A game. She was batteries included, and she modeled for every one of us what excellence looks like and feels like. And it was over the internet, but she still touched our hearts. When we had music the other day from Cali, same thing. It was over the internet. It was a hybrid. It wasn't in person anymore, but it still touched our hearts. It created tears in the room. I couldn't stop sobbing. It touched me so much. So PJ, I'm wondering, what are you thinking about this right now as you're watching everyone in this threshold of success, in this like moment of glory? Like, are you just like overflowing with joy like we are?
Yeah, and I'm really seeing the power of mentorship and the power of modeling success versus trying to just stumble through and figure it out on your own, right? Like to see what people have been able to create in a few weeks to a few months with mentorship versus without is really extraordinary. So I don't know if you guys want to talk more about that or let me know where we're at in your view of things, because I'm happy to talk about the mentorship all day whenever you're ready for that.
Yeah, I would love you and Joey to talk about it, because honestly, this is Joey's brainchild. He wanted to make sure he got to share David's genius with the world. And what you and Joey and I did was created an arena, a place for him to come and be his true natural talent. And I think between you and Joey, I would love you to share some of the ideas that we've put into the mentorship, but also what's available right now as a bonus. And then also, what the details are, the hows. People want to know how to do it, not just why to do it. We've been showing all the whys, living the whys. And I think they want to learn from you, PJ, some of the hows.
Sure, absolutely. And I'd like to just thank you. I'd like to toss it back to Joey for just a sec. Joey, we talk a lot about the mentorship. If someone's like, what's the mentorship? What would you say?
The mentorship is the next level community, of planners, designers, industry professionals that are together here on this journey with David and myself, and together with the whole group, where we do have our 2 Zoom meetings each month. We have our training call on the second Wednesday, our Q&A call on the fourth, but there's so much more in between that too. You know, the group has created their own mini groups that they do with the happy hours after dark and things like that. We have our Facebook group. That's a private group where we're sharing and inspiring and encouraging each other, and also sharing what we need help on. We have the Ask David piece where we're getting to get direct questions in between those calls that David's taking the time to answer and send out those individual answers on what the challenges are.
I'd like to give a little bit of more content into that, which is legitimately, you can send us your websites. I've done website reviews. So if your website is clean and clear and crisp, it is obviously exactly what you do, I review it. If it looks like it needs a little bit more attention and it's missing something, or it needs some more clarity, I've worked very hard on those mentees that have chosen to submit their websites to me. We're going to be practicing on how to do a video in 30 seconds or less, so you can be heard and be seen when it gets to the point where you need to do publicity. So I'll be also weighing in on, you know, possibly the poise that you have, or the words that you're using, or how you look and what you're doing. And these are important things because in the world of media, which is so important for the world of events, I'll be helping train you through that process. We have a series of case studies, 6 case studies that are events that I have done personally over a course of my past 2 years, are globally and domestically. And we're not bragging about the case study. We're showing you what went wrong with the event and how you can avoid those loopholes and the items that might have been done differently. It showcases floor plans. It showcases videos. It showcases timelines. It showcases you the meat and the potatoes, not just the creativity on how to create a beautiful event, but how you need the tools to allow the event to stand and be held up so you can get through from beginning to end. We're going to do the after party, which is a time where we'll be together. I already found a DJ. We're going to pick a night. If you're part of the mentee program, not just on the challenge, the mentee program, the after party night will be me sharing stories of things that have happened that were disasters and how you deal with them, and share about the uniqueness of the industry that we're in. So there's a lot of things that are scattered throughout the program. And obviously, the foundation of it is content, information, education, and learning how to be a better version of you in this industry.
I love it. So since I'm the one that built a lot of the back end of it, can I talk a little bit about how the mentorship works? Is this a good time?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'm super excited because, you know, this is at the point in the challenge where this is where we get to invite you to become a member of the David Tatera Mentorship if you're not already. And I want to swing back to our conversation today around getting hired and give you a bonus tip to help you get hired. So if you'd like that, give me a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kimyata. I love the enthusiasm. Awesome. So my friend is an online marketing expert. Her name's Brenda Normand. And she says that if you have something of value that can help change someone's life for the better, and you don't offer it, you're doing them a disservice. You're doing them a disservice. And I think that really helps in terms of like, yeah, have the confidence to go and offer your gifts, because otherwise you're doing them a disservice. So let me know in the chat, like, how does that land for you? Thank you. And you know, we would be doing you a huge disservice if we didn't let you know about this amazing opportunity. So the David Tatera Mentorship Program, if you're not familiar with this is for you if you're passionate about growing your event planning business to be more successful than ever, if you really want to be a leader in this industry, and you realize that you're going to go farther and faster by learning directly from the master, David Tatera, the #1 event and wedding planner in the world, because after 30 years of experience and being the go-to leader in this industry, David is finally peeling back the curtain and sharing his success secrets for the first time ever and offering a mentorship program. So you can see all the details of what the mentorship looks like at mentorwithdavid.com. So I will post that link in the chat there. It's mentorwithdavid.com. And this is what the site looks like. So you can see like everything that's included. and what you get and when the calls are and all of that on that page. And if you know that this is for you, you just click the Get Started button and become a member now. So specifically, the bits and pieces of the program are you get a monthly live training call with David, 60 minutes each on Zoom. This is on the second Wednesdays, where he'll really go deep into one aspect of what it means to be a rock star, highly successful event planner. And then on the fourth Wednesday, you'll get another call, which is the group mentoring calls, where we can work on anything in your business directly with David. You also get the resources and recommended resources directory, including the 6 event case studies that David was talking about. So you get to really tap into his golden Rolodex and go straight to the front of the line, and not have to figure a lot of this stuff out, including client budgeting templates, including tons of sample floor plans. There's a lot of this done for you systems that you can just plug and play and use in your own business. If you miss any training, there's also a library of recordings of all the trainings and group mentoring calls, including the ones that have already happened. So if you're just finding out about this now, this has only been going on for a few months, and there's already a lot of great content in there. So you can go back and access everything. You haven't missed any content. You also get priority invitation to exclusive David Tatera events and experiences. So I noticed some people asked in the chat about, the Orlando experience. As a mentee, you get, the priority insider access to events like that. And as a bonus, you get a private online support community for networking and asking questions between calls. And so between the Ask David, the calls, the Facebook group, there's a lot of support there. And in terms of the investment, because I'm sure that that's a question that a lot of people have, I want to be really transparent with you on this, okay? Most experts at David's level charge between $100,000 and $250,000 a year to mentor with them. That is no joke. Lee is in some of those programs. And I just completed a mentorship program where I invested $18,000 for 6 months. So that's $36,000, for the whole year for people who re-up. So that's really more along the lines of what the investment should be. And David and Joey and Lee and I are so passionate about making this as affordable and as accessible as possible for you. The thing is, there are a lot of costs associated with creating and running this program. So, we're offering this challenge for free. We can't quite do the entire mentorship for free, but the investment, instead of being $18,000 for 6 months, is only $397 a month for 6 months. And if you're in a position to do a full pay for the 6 months, then it's only $1997 for the full 6 months instead of $18,000, $50,000, $100,000. So it's really, really, really as affordable as we can make it. And when you enroll by Wednesday, and today on Wednesday, there are some special bonuses available as well. And let me share those with you. So first of all, I'll just let you know, you are going to have an inside advantage here because you're here with us now live and you're watching this now. We're going to be sending an email to the tens of thousands of people on our combined email lists. We've had, over 10,000 people opt in for these challenges. So if this is for you, you're like, yes, I want to be mentored by David and Joey, then I encourage you to jump in. It's only $397 to get started. And so the first bonus you're going to get when you jump in now is you're going to get David's complete digital library of past challenge recordings, including handouts, bonus sessions, everything. So this is our 4th challenge. We had the Pivot and Thrive challenge in June of this year, and the Create Your Dream Event Planning Business challenge number 1 and 2 in July and August. And you get all the recordings of those. But think of it as like Netflix, okay? Just because you sign on to Netflix, it doesn't mean you have to watch everything on Netflix, but it's there to watch if you want to watch. So you can go back and, if we reference oh yeah, we had this conversation on your sales system, well, you can go watch that one. You don't have to watch everything. But it's there for you so that you can watch what you want to whenever you want on demand. So that's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, and this is hot, and this is why you want to get in now. If this is something that's resonating with you, do not wait, jump in, because this is only for the first 24 new members, and we already have people signing up. So there's fewer than 24 spots available. And that is that you will get a private one-on-one VIP Zoom date with David to talk about your business. So this is a 15-minute private meeting over Zoom, just you and the David Tatera, to talk about your business. And, you know, because there's only one of him and his time is limited, that's only the first 24 new members. So like, oh my God, I kind of want to sign up again just for that. That's so exciting. So, you know, and some people might do that. You know, I've bought programs I've already bought in the past because I wanted the new bonus. So just saying, but I'm really excited about that. If that's, you know, if you're in a position to do it, jump in and make it happen, because you get that extra time with David, which is just so special. And if you are in a position to do the full pay, there's one more bonus for new full pay members. And that is, you get all the bonuses we already talked about. And you'll also receive the 90-day Get Started coaching program with Joey and Lee, which, you know, we've been selling that for $497. So you pay $397 for your first payment, you immediately get this $497 value bonus. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is for full pay. So $1997 for the full pay, and you get the $497 bonus. So it's like you're saving a lot of money right off the bat. And then you get to mentor with David and Joey and Lee, and it's amazing. So I want to share a few things of what our founding members are saying, people who've been in the program for a few months. And you can also see in the chat, Deidre saying, I was thinking the same thing. Can we drop out and rejoin? You know, if you want that one-on-one session, so here it is, like, is it worth, you know, $1997 for a 15-minute private session with David? Like, you got to decide, are you at that level in your business where that would make sense? You know, it's definitely something that I would consider. But it kind of depends on what position you're in, right? You don't have to drop out, just, you know, sign up again and you can get that bonus. So if you are at that level where it would make sense for you to invest just to get that extra bonus, then I'd consider it personally, you know, because that's really cool. Like, how often do you get a one-on-one session with David? So,
but think about it, PJ, too, because it's positioning out in the marketplace. Positioning in the marketplace is, I had one-on-one time with my mentor, David Tatera. And what I learned is, here's how I can serve you better. Here's how I can show up for you. Here's some ideas. But the positioning of having one-on-one time with the #1 event planner on the planet, that is great for everyone's business, for everyone's confidence, for your credibility, for your connections, for opportunities for collaboration, because there's going to be something that he says that's customized just for you, that you get to take that story with you forever. And I love that, because honestly, it's been woven in my life and in my business for years now. And I will tell you, people that I'm actually enamored with in other industries, when they find out I'm doing a challenge and working with David and Joey, they ask me about them. They're curious. They're like, how did you even get to know them? They want to know, how did you get access to someone so iconic in the industry? And that is part of what we're sharing with you guys today, is the access. And honestly, just like you said, PJ, I have bought courses over and over again just for the bonus. I have absolutely done that, because I'm thinking to myself, is it worth $2,000 to be able to say that I mentored with David directly? Yeah, it is, because I can add that into one job, make it back, and then multiply it with every other job after it. And by the way, my client will go to their family and say, oh my God, she has access to David Tatera. We should ask some questions. And then when I come back in mentorship next month, I can send those. I can send them to Ask David. I could go back to my client and say, here's what David said. He had this idea. What do you think? Because it adds that credibility. It adds that access. It adds all of those things that make us more valuable in the marketplace. It's an investment in our business and our confidence.
Yeah. And Blessed, there's a question that's awesomely. Blessing asked, is the mentorship program for 6 months? Yes, it is a 6-month program that we're offering right now. So it's $1997 full pay or $397 a month for 6 months. Cool. So some things. Ann said, I feel like I've won the David Tatera lottery, and I totally agree. It's so awesome. Ricardo, who's here, it's great to see you, Ricardo. He says, being in the industry for 16 years, I'm being reignited about the business and continuing to learn new things. Brenda says, the energy that you feel when you say you're mentoring with David and Joey makes your energy shift. It elevates you. Melissa shared, I'm so grateful to be part of the mentorship. It really changed my thinking of what my business can become. And Vivi says, being mentored by David and Joey is the highlight of 2020 for me and the highlight of my career. I also see a lot of stuff sharing in the chat. Members have said they've won clients because they were working with David, and clients choose them because of that. It's a huge positioning thing, honestly, to say that you're being mentored with David, Tatera, and Joey. That's a really big deal, and it can be a unique selling proposition to, you know, have clients choose you over someone else, for sure.
It is that, PJ, and that's, you know, one of the things that we saw consistently in the Facebook chat from the group page is, how do I stand out? I'm just getting started, or there's so many planners. How do I stand out? And you just hit the nail on the head of, this is one of the ways. Through mentorship, it helps to transform your business. It transforms how you present yourself. Everything you got from these last 4 days, you continue. That's how this journey from this challenge continues, is through the mentorship program.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is it, you know, this is your last call. Like, we have no plans to do another challenge or open this mentorship again at this point. So it's like,
this was a bonus based on all the audience coming back and begging us. And we heard you. We knew you missed us. We missed seeing David and Joey too. And that they made it happen before the end of the year, before Thanksgiving and all this busy season, is absolutely a miracle. It really does feel like a Christmas present. And what it is it's mentorship for all of us. And I'm so excited because every single meeting, every single guest, I took notes and I'm implementing, I'm leveling up, I'm inspired. I know you must be too. And we want to make sure that you're not only with us, but you're sharing that joy with people like Francesca and Melissa, so they can celebrate your success too. So Larissa, who's running the Event Planners Association, can be there and help give you the tools you need to level up, to fill the gaps, because we're paying attention. And we do see an industry that's been really wounded, and we've all had to come and reinvent ourselves for a reason, because the world changed around us. But investing in mentorship has been the #1 gain for me. And PJ hit on it. Two of my mentorship programs, one of them $60,000 a year and the other one's $100,000 a year. That's the level I'm investing in my business. I know PJ has gone to Necker Island and invested $50,000 for her to go for one mentorship moment, to be with other entrepreneurs, to level up her thinking. This was years ago. She inspired me when she did that. I started saying, wait, I need to invest more in myself. I need to invest more in my business, because she showed me that was the entry level to go play with the big boys and the big girls. That's where it was. She invested in herself and it opened it for me. I did it, and I'm opening it for you guys. And I'm opening it for you guys with David, who's the best mentor you could have. I couldn't bring you a better present. And the reason we are is because we really, really care about you. And Joey, from the bottom of his heart, has coached hundreds and hundreds of hours with people. And in his heart, he loves this community. He sits down, he writes all the notes, he writes the scripts, he thinks about the journey for every one of you. And he allows David and I to show up, and he allows PJ to show up in our genius, but it's really him that's sitting behind the scenes and doing the step-by-step journey for every one of you. And through this, you get to not only experience it, see it, but ask questions about how to do it. So PJ, I mean, that's one of the things you've been so genius with us in our challenge when we did marketing, operations, sales, and finance. You created all the homework. You took us on the journey based on what came out of David and Joey's head. So I thank you so much for this ride. And I love that you get to bring more of that genius out to us.
Yeah, and I want to say right now, big huge welcome to Valerie. She just joined the mentorship program, and you got in time to get a one-on-one with David. Oh my gosh! So big love to Valerie and Christina McMillan, yay, and Audrey and Christy. These guys are in. They get the one-on-one with David. So welcome to the program. We are so happy to have you, and we're sending you big love and super excited to work with you. And I just want to answer a couple questions, or a few questions that we got about the program. Would that be okay?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, cool. So one is, when does it start? So the program starts immediately, like you're in the container. Our next group mentoring call is Wednesday, November 25th. It's the second and fourth Wednesdays, unless, is that changed at all because of Thanksgiving the next day, or is it still? Okay, so it's going to be the 24th.
Yes.
So the 24th this time because of Thanksgiving, but typically the second and fourth Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Eastern, with, very occasionally getting moved up or back because of holidays. So November 24th is the next call. What's the investment? Is there a payment plan? Yes. So it's $19.97 for the full 6 months, or $3.97 a month if you want to break it up. Will I get to interact with David personally? Yes, absolutely. So there's not going to be any individual one-on-one time unless you get that bonus that we mentioned for being one of the first 24 new members. However, you're going to be able to ask him questions during the group mentoring calls, during the Q&As. This way, everybody benefits from each other's questions and from David's responses. So you still do get individual attention from David. And what are the group mentoring calls? These are video sessions on Zoom like this, where David will be coaching members and answering your questions. So this is where you get direct interaction with David. You get to ask questions, participate. Everyone on the call will be able to learn and listen at the same time as you. And will David be doing any design or decor classes? Yes, some classes throughout the program, right?
We just did one last week. We did the power of creativity, or actually this week, the power of creativity. So there will be elements of decor, which leads planners with more confidence and understanding how to talk about the talk when it comes to design.
And that's what we go through the case studies of the different events, looking at those design decks, those pieces that are really, really valuable.
Awesome. Love it. And then the next question is, how interactive is this program? Very interactive. So if you're willing to participate and engage, you can interact quite a lot. This program will be what you want it to be. So it's up to you to put the work in and get involved, but it's a very engaged and active and vibrant community, really, like I said, leading the industry. And then the last question we have submitted is, will I be able to interact with other people or members in the program? And the answer to that is yes. I see members inspiring and encouraging and masterminding with each other a lot. There's a bonus private Facebook group for all of the mentees where you can chat, network, ask questions with fellow industry professionals. So that is another huge benefit of the program, is building this network of other industry leaders. If you have any other questions that I didn't hit or that I missed, please type them in the chat. Francesca says, welcome. Being in the mentorship is life-changing. I have felt change personally and professionally. Yeah, here's another thing I want to say. A lot of us have been conditioned to try to go it alone and figure it out. And so whenever we're stuck or we have a question, we try to kind of push through. And I think this comes from just the way our school system is. But what if, instead of your default response anytime you felt stuck or confused, instead of trying to figure it out on your own, what if your default response was oh, get support, get support, get support, get support? Can you imagine how much farther and faster you would go if you just tapped into a support system like this to help you move forward in your business rather than trying to reinvent the wheel? It's really a big deal. So
it's such a big deal. And you're right, PJ. One of the things that David has said time and time again is he wished he had this in the beginning. I mean, we really all wish, no matter what industry, no matter where we are, if somebody who's figured it out, made the mistakes, had the success, been front and center, if they're going to pull back the curtain and share it with you, you're going to shorten your learning curve. You're going to be inspired. And so David said he wished from the beginning he had this. And so he's designing this with that in mind. What would he have wanted? What would have helped him? Isn't that true, David?
Yeah, and I do really mean that. If I had had this from the very start of my career and through the decades of my career, I think I would have had the ability to have much more confidence and knowledge to be able to do even far better jobs than I had done in the past. But the reality of this is that you are engaged with myself. You are very engaged. The only way you're engaged is if you choose to, someone wrote it in the comment board, rip the Band-Aid off and ask the questions and stand up and be okay with asking a question that you may feel might not be that important. Sometimes that simplest of questions will wind up being the biggest change in your career. I said it earlier before, there is the Ask David section where you can continuously, you don't have to ask one question, you can ask several questions, only question one at a time so we can get to them, but you can keep asking questions. And remember, and I know you've heard this before, is that I want to review your websites. I want to review your ability to speak into your lens of your iPhone and do an interview for 20 seconds. I am here to help you become literally the best version of you with all the tools that I have. And that engagement is consistent. It's not just every 2 weeks on a group Zoom call where I am teaching. You have one-on-one opportunities to spend time with me and to learn. And I promise you, it's going to make a difference, a very major difference. And like so many who are part of the mentorship program right now, if you put the work in, you will see the progress. If you sit and listen and watch, you get what you put in. Yes. And that's what I'm asking. Put all of yourself in, make the investment, and it will be worthy and it will be worth it.
I just checked the Ask David site, 125 questions in the last 14 days, and we have 5 still for David to answer here over the weekend. So it's being used and it's being answered. And I think that's a powerful, powerful thing. When we talk about engagement, we're here. If you want to do the work, we're here to support you and do it with you. And that's what the mentorship program is about. And it's about the community. I see it just over and over on our Zoom room where we invite the mentors in as VIPs to come in here on Zoom with us. And I just see them saying it's amazing. It's the best. And it's a community. So
people are always asking, is it really true? Could it really be this great? And I think that's part of why people in the beginning, they're a little shy and they're like, is this really true? It seems too good to be true. But just like we heard from Francesca, it's real. And it's one thing we can thank the pandemic for. Because of the pandemic, David's not traveling and he's got time for us. Because of the pandemic, Joey is home and he's got time for us. It is because of this moment in history, which we don't know the beginning, middle, and end completely of it, but we're in it right now. And because we're in it right now is why the timing is perfect. That's the only reason why David and Joey actually have the time for us, is because they're at home and they're making the time. But it's because of the pandemic that brought us all together. It's not something that ever could have been planned before. You could never have coordinated even just PJ and me and David and Joey. Like that alone would be hard enough. Never mind everything else that had to come together. Yes, David.
But I do want to point out, though, that when this pandemic does go away, and it will go away, okay? And I really want everyone to be very well aware of that. In time, when that time happens, we don't know. But as I do go back on the road and travel does give me time in airports, on planes, in hotel rooms. So I don't want you all to think that when COVID goes away, this program goes away. So I don't want to set it up for that. Yes, I have extra time here. We run a lot of businesses out of the house, but my focus is taking care of you. My focus is making sure you're getting the information that you need because you deserve it. And why? Because I care. And because I wished, again, I had had this opportunity. So please know that this is for longevity. This isn't for a moment.
And I think that goes back to your quote that you wrote in the experience journals. Last year in Bermuda, we gave everyone this beautiful journal, and in front of each of those journals, you wrote a very important quote for everyone to take away with. And I know that our people from the experience, they're living it, and they went back and looked at their lives. And this mentorship community creates that. It's surround yourself with people who believe you are great.
Because you are.
And this mentorship group surrounds you with people who believe you are great because you are. So join us on the journey. We have these special offers here for you, the special couple bonuses. We look forward to having you with us. We thank you for that time that you give us. And we know that we have a mission to give you back tenfold on that time that you invest in us. And that's our intention, to give back. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us on this challenge. It's been exciting. It's been emotional. I know there were many, many tears. Day 1, 2, even 3, and today is day 4. But that's a great thing, and embrace that, because that's energy in motion. That's your energy in motion. Use that motion that it's going to propel yourself into that greatness. Thank you all. Thank you to our team that pulled this challenge together with us. Thank you, David, for creating the framework of this challenge, for really thinking through it, for being intentional on how it was put together, who came on. Yes, I know none of us want to say goodbye, but we'll see you in less than 2 weeks on the mentorship call.
That's
so it's
right.
not goodbye. And we'll see you in our Facebook group. So it's not goodbye. We love you all.
Thank you.
Do good work. Be your best. Be a team player. And remember, random acts of kindness every day make someone smile. Let's make this world a wonderful place to live in.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a joy, a pleasure, and an honor. Thank you.
So we're sticking around for the VIP group. We're going to have a little bit of touch base with everyone. So I want to say thank you so much to David, to Joey, to everyone. And Rial, I guess take us away.